The night was quiet. Too quiet. Emily Carter took a sip of her coffee, staring out the window at the moonlit street. A moment later, the cup slipped from her fingers. Light. Blinding, unnatural light engulfed her. A deafening hum vibrated through her bones. Then, nothing. She woke up strapped to a metallic table, the air thick with a sterile, artificial scent. Sleek walls pulsed with an eerie blue glow. The restraints were tight, but not unbreakable. She tested them, flexing her wrists. Weak. A door slid open with a whisper. 3 figures entered, tall, spindly, draped in iridescent robes. Their elongated skulls and black, unblinking eyes regarded her with detached curiosity. One of them spoke in a clicking, guttural tongue. Emily took a slow breath. Stay calm. Assess. Act. The lead alien, Vorkath, turned to a hovering console, tapping glowing symbols. A translator activated, its robotic voice smooth, clinical. Human female. You have been selected for examination. Cooperation is advised. Emily stared at them, her jaw tightening. Yeah. And what happens if I don't cooperate? Vorkath barely glanced at her. Then we will neutralize resistance. Emily smiled, but it wasn't friendly. You have no idea what you just did. Vorkath didn't react. They never did, these creatures. Too advanced to recognize a threat when it wasn't wrapped in steel and plasma. Emily tested her restraints again. A slight give. Good. Meanwhile, light years below, Jack Carter walked into his home and froze. The living room was wrecked. The front door was locked, no signs of forced entry, but the security system was scrambled. His gut twisted. Something was wrong. He moved fast, checking every room. Empty. Then his eyes landed on the shattered coffee mug. Emily's. A sickening chill ran down his spine. Jack wasn't just a husband. He was a problem solver. A survivor. A man who had spent years dismantling threats before they even knew he was there. And right now, someone had taken his wife. He pulled up the home surveillance feed. Static. Then a brief flicker, Emily in the kitchen. A flash of white light. Gone. Jack's hands clenched into fists. This wasn't a break-in. It wasn't a kidnapping. It was something else. Something not from Earth. And whoever was responsible had made a mistake. Because they took the wrong woman. And Jack was coming to get her back. Jack moved with precision. Every second mattered. He pulled a secure laptop from its case, bypassing firewalls with muscle memory. He wasn't just any former operative, he was the kind of problem governments called when things went wrong. And right now, everything was wrong. The security footage was garbage, but the residual energy signature wasn't. He cross-referenced it with classified files he wasn't supposed to have. A match. Electromagnetic distortions, high-frequency resonance, textbook extraterrestrial event. Not the first. But it would be the first time they took someone who mattered to him. Jack grabbed his go-bag, weapons, encrypted comms, then made a call. It rang twice before a gruff voice answered. This channel isn't secure, Carter. Jack didn't waste time. I need orbital scans. Energy signatures, anything unusual. A pause. Then, you're asking for favors I can't. They took my wife. Silence. Then a sigh. Sending what I have. His screen flashed with raw data. Unusual movement in low orbit. Not satellites. Not debris. A ship. Jack was already moving. The world around him blurred as he pulled every contact, every resource, every trick he had ever learned in his years of off-the-books operations. He didn't care about red tape. Didn't care about classified protocols. This was Emily. The underground networks whispered rumors of things the government denied, hidden programs, reverse-engineered tech, black sites that didn't exist. He leveraged every piece of it. Within an hour, he had a location. A facility buried beneath an airbase, where the world's most classified encounters were kept under lock and key. Jack didn't ask permission. He walked through the front doors like he belonged. Security stepped forward. Sir, you can't. Jack's gun was out before the sentence finished. Safety off. Try and stop me. A tense pause. Then a resigned nod. They knew who he was. Knew what he could do. Minutes later, he was inside, staring at something humanity wasn't supposed to have: a ship. Small, sleek, reverse-engineered from wreckage recovered decades ago. Jack ran a hand over its hull. No time for hesitation. He climbed in, powered it up. Systems hummed to life. A destination locked in, tracking the same energy that had stolen Emily away. Jack strapped in, checked his weapon. He was coming. And they had no idea what was about to hit them. Emily had already freed one hand when the first alien returned. It barely had time to react before she wrenched the restraint loose and slammed her fist into its elongated skull. It staggered back, hissing in pain. Weak bones. Good to know. She yanked the other restraint free, grabbed the nearest sharp object, some kind of surgical tool, and pressed it against the alien's throat. Undo the lockdown. The creature trembled but obeyed, its spindly fingers tapping a command into the panel. The restraints hissed open. Doors unlocked. Emily shoved it aside and moved. Fast. The ship was sleek, too clean, too perfect. Designed for beings that relied on technology to do everything for them. Which meant they wouldn't know what to do when someone turned that technology against them. She ducked into a corridor, spotting a control panel. Alien symbols flickered across the screen. Didn't matter. Patterns were universal. One button looked important. She pressed it. A wailing alarm filled the ship. Doors hissed open all at once. Security protocols overridden. Containment fields dropped. Somewhere, someone was panicking. Emily grinned. Heavy footsteps approached. She grabbed a loose pipe and flattened herself against the wall. The first guard barely had time to turn before she swung, shattering its fragile jaw. It crumpled. The second raised a weapon. She was faster. A quick step inside its reach, a sharp twist of its wrist, and now she had the weapon. The alien hesitated, eyes wide. Emily pulled the trigger. A pulse of energy sent it flying. The body hit the wall and slid down, unconscious. She kept moving, following the most heavily secured paths. That's where they'd keep the important stuff: controls, communications. A way to call Jack. A doorway loomed ahead, more fortified than the others. She pried open a panel, yanked a handful of wires, and jammed two together. Sparks flew. The door hissed open. Inside, glowing screens displayed alien data. Emily didn't need to understand it. She just needed to find a way to send one message. She tapped into the system, found a relay, and spoke. "If you're reading this, honey, they messed up. Get up here and let's finish this." She hit send. Then she picked up the stolen weapon, cracked her knuckles, and smiled. Time to make them regret everything. Jack landed hard, rolling out of the stolen ship with a rifle raised. No alarms. No immediate resistance. That was their second mistake. The first was taking Emily. He moved through the corridors like a ghost, silent and precise. The layout was unfamiliar, but alien design had a flaw: they built for efficiency, not unpredictability. He followed the signs of damage, the unconscious bodies left in Emily's wake. A sudden noise. A security team rounding the corner. Jack dropped to one knee and fired. 3 shots. 3 bodies down. Their armor was weak. They weren't built for war. He stepped over them and kept moving. A terminal flickered nearby, still active. He pulled up the last message sent. Emily's words. She was alive. Fighting. Waiting. Jack exhaled, tension coiling tighter. He pushed forward. Down another hall, a sealed door. He planted an explosive, stepped back, and blew it open. The room beyond was chaos: panicked aliens, failing systems, sparks raining from overloaded panels. And in the center stood Emily, holding a stolen rifle like she owned the place. Their eyes met. Jack smirked. "You good?" Emily grinned. "Took you long enough." A shriek from behind. Vorkath, eyes wide with something that might have been fear. He raised trembling hands. "We can negotiate." Jack leveled his rifle. "No, we can't." A single shot. Vorkath crumpled. Emily stepped beside Jack as the ship shuddered. I might have sabotaged the engines. Jack nodded. Then let's go. They fought their way to the hangar, hijacked a smaller craft, and launched just as explosions ripped through the ship behind them. Jack set a course for home. Emily leaned back, exhaling. He glanced at her. They're gonna think twice before coming back. She smirked. If they're smart. Jack chuckled. Yeah. But they weren't smart enough to take the right woman. Emily grinned. Their problem. The stars stretched before them as the alien ship burned in the distance. Message received.